Hey there, guys. So I want to thank you, as always, for taking the time to join today's live stream, our midweek, midday live stream, as always. So before I do get started, I do, of course, want to mention my website, as I usually do. It's bponlinefitness.com. Again, ton of great information on there. I will have that website. It should be on the last slide that I'll have that website address available to you um, so that you can search it on Google. But all you have to do is put in bponlinefitness.com, and it'll take you straight to my website. A ton of free information there as it relates to online coaching, um, as well as resources talking about things related to fitness, nutrition, recovery. You also have access to a fitness blog, of course. There is a free email newsletter that I send out every week. You can sign up to the email list there as well. You can also check out information, of course, related to online coaching, everything that I'll have to offer as a coach. So definitely check that out. I do try to keep it updated as much as possible. My latest live stream usually gets uploaded there, and this one will be there too as well on the homepage, so you can view the latest live stream as they come through each week. So definitely check that out. Again, the address should be at the end of this live stream, so definitely watch for that. And if you do have any questions related to my website when you do visit it, just feel free to let me know. Alrighty, so what we're going to be discussing today is about strength training for weight loss. Now, this is a topic that I've really wanted to discuss a little bit further because a lot of people in particular usually relate weight loss to cardiovascular exercise. And not to say that cardiovascular exercise is not a benefit to, weight loss. However, strength training does have a lot of major benefits, and it's sort of a misconception or you know, just lack of knowledge that people may have when it comes to strength training and its benefits that relate to weight loss. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. So all of the topics that will be discussed today on this live stream I've got here. So we're going to be discussing the effects on metabolism that strength training has, the difference between muscle loss versus fat loss, the body composition improvements that can come with strength training, as well as long-term weight maintenance, strength training for all fitness levels. So we're going to be discussing a wide variety of topics when it comes to talking about strength training and weight loss. However, we're going to dive a little bit deeper outside of just the topic of weight loss. We're going to, be expanding upon that. How does it impact, metabolism? What are the body composition changes that come with strength training and things of that nature? So yes, we are going to be talking about weight loss. That is in general what I do want to mainly discuss, but I do want to sort of expand upon that topic and sort of share with you guys more as to the various benefits that come with strength training. So, strength training and body composition. So, this is what we're going to start out with as far as this topic is concerned. So, strength training and body composition. It boosts basal metabolic rate, which is known as BMR, which means you will burn more calories at rest. This is really important to keep in mind, especially when you're getting started with your workout routine. Now, when it comes to weight loss, again, cardiovascular exercise is still beneficial, but it's more that you have a proper balance between the two. So just keep that in mind. But strength training in itself is going to be very beneficial because you're building more muscle. As you build more muscle, your body has the ability to burn more calories at rest. So keep that in mind that you're going to boost your basal metabolic rate when you do strength training. It also enhances the afterburn effect, known as EPOC, which leads to post-exercise oxygen consumption for increased calorie burn after a workout. Again, there's a additional calorie burn when it comes to the effects strength training has on the body. So it's going to support long-term fat loss. Again, this goes hand in hand with both of those topics when we're talking about BMR and EPOC. It's going to support that long-term fat loss because you're going to be able to burn more calories at rest as you're doing a consistent strength training routine. And it also is going to improve insulin sensitivity. You've likely heard of insulin sensitivity before. I know there have been advertisements on TV that talk about insulin sensitivity, and that's basically what that is, talking about fat in general. So your body is going to be able to burn those calories and that fat more efficiently when you have a strength training regimen in your daily routine. So strength training and body composition. So I know I've got these both the same, but it is an expansion on the same sort of topic. So strength training and body composition sort of continued here. Body composition refers to the proportion of fat, muscle, and bone, and water in the body. The two primary components to focus on are lean body mass, muscle, and fat mass. So there's basically a difference between the two. So strength training can lead to body recomposition where you lose fat and gain muscle simultaneously. This process might not always reflect the significant changes on the scale, but results in healthier and stronger and more defined physique. So improved body composition not only enhances physical appearance, but also boosts strength, endurance, and overall functionality, making daily activities easier and improving overall quality of life. Now, again, keep in mind that body composition is all about the proportion of fat, muscle, and bone, as well as water in your body. And there's a difference between having lean body mass versus fat mass. And what strength training is doing is helping to preserve muscle while get rid of fat mass. So that's basically the major benefit that you're going to get when you start to integrate strength training into your routine. Now, keep in mind that just like with any routine, that you have, it's going to take time to really see the results. It's not like you start strength training within like a week and that you're going to see the results of that body composition change and you're going to lose that fat instantly. It is still a consistent, sort of action that you have to take every single day when you're going into your routine. You do need to have a proper structure routine in order to get the results there. So just sort of keep that in mind. But when you start to create and you start to sort of build a routine that focuses on strength training, as well as, of course, implementing a little bit of cardiovascular health in there, cardiovascular exercise, again, is still beneficial. It is still very beneficial for heart health and your performance. It makes a lot of great, improvements to your performance when you integrate that into your routine as well. But basically, most of it is just having a balance between the two of those. So just know that with strength training, it is going to change your body composition and you're going to be able to lose fat while also simultaneously keeping that muscle mass in your body. So effective strategies for fat loss. So for strength training. So we're going to talk about basically the effects as well as the strategies sort of side by side here. So the first point here, continuously challenging your muscles by gradually increasing the weight, volume, or intensity of your workouts ensures ongoing muscle growth and fat loss. This also prevents plateaus where your body adapts to a certain level of exercise, slowing fat loss. So the strategy is, of course, to gradually increase the load, reps, or sets in your strength training regimen to keep your muscles challenged and maintain fat loss momentum. So this concept is known as progressive overload, and I've mentioned progressive overload before, and that's basically this is the same concept like when we're talking about, muscle gain is sort of the same type of concept when it comes to losing fat. Now, when it comes to the nutrition aspect of things, it is a tad different into how you approach that. Nutrition and workouts they're a little bit unique in a way. So when you're focusing primarily on the fat loss aspect as it relates to your nutrition, yes, you would still do strength training in your routine, but you would likely be focusing on more of a calorie deficit, which is basically consuming less calories. And then, of course, with a muscle gain, or like when we're talking about, primarily somebody who's focusing on gaining muscle, you would be more leaning towards a calorie surplus, which is consuming more calories above your maintenance calories, what you would consume in a day. Usually that's 200 to 500 calories. So that's basically what you're going to get from that. Another point I do want to mention here. So, metabolic conditioning, this is another effect. Metabolic conditioning combines strength training with cardiovascular elements to maximize calorie burn and improve endurance. This type of training elevates your heart rate while engaging large muscle groups, leading to significant fat loss. Including metabolic conditioning workouts like kettlebell circuits or bodyweight exercises that combine strength and cardio to enhance fat burning potential are great options. So, again, like I mentioned with cardio, if you can mix the two, if you can have a good balance between the two, it's really going to optimize your results towards getting to fat loss. Because, like I say, when it comes to, or like I said, when it comes to, cardio, a lot of people jump to the conclusion of cardio being the main focus. That's automatically what they think. And that's what I used to think, before I, got the knowledge as, a personal trainer, is that, cardio is the way that you burn fat, but that's not really the case. Strength training is the great option. And even for somebody, and I know this is sort of a goal, not necessarily a goal, but people really don't want to get bulky. They sort of assume that when you lift weights, you get bulky. And if that's not your intention, you don't have to, getting bulky and, getting bigger as in muscle mass, that requires a lot of, focus on your nutrition in a specific way, focus on recovery in a specific way, as well as your workouts. So you're not going to be doing an identical workout. If you're somebody who doesn't want to get bulky, your workout is not going to be intensive where you're focusing on, trying to really get big. You're going to be focusing on keeping a maintenance. So, you know, yes, progressive overload is still a part of that aspect when we're talking about fat loss. But if that's not your particular goal, you're not going to be trying to, eat a ton of calories and trying to, be in a calorie surplus. It's a little bit different. So don't think of it as you're going to get bulky when you're, doing strength training or weight training in general. It's not that case. If you're, training towards that way, yes, you can get bigger and you can gain muscle in that way if that's the type of physique you're looking for. But if that's not what you're looking for, you don't have to go in that way. Your nutrition is going to be totally different. You're not going to be focusing on somebody who is like bodybuilding or weightlifting to gain muscle. If your focus is fat, you want to focus on your nutrition aligning with that. The same with your workouts. So just sort of keep that in mind. So, examples of the best strength training exercises. So, there's a lot of exercises out there, and these are some of the most beneficial. And these are very good options because these are mainly compound based movements. Deadlifts can somewhat, I would almost say a deadlift is somewhat isolation, but then at the same time, it's not. Because a deadlift primarily does target the hamstrings, but it does work other muscles. So I guess we could kind of basically put that in the same realm. So, and I've talked about compound and isolation before, and I'll sort of expand upon that again. But these are the examples of the best strength training exercises. So squats are powerful lower body exercises that build mass and strength while engaging the core for stability. They help improve balance and coordination, boost metabolism, and burn a significant number of calories due to large muscle groups. So keep that in mind that large muscle groups is the big sort of name of the game here. Deadlifts are one of the most functional exercises for full body strength. They target major muscle groups and enhance posterior chain development. Backside muscles while also engaging the core and grip strength. Deadlifts have a strong metabolic impact due to the heavy loads typically used. The bench press, you've likely heard of this one, is a staple of upper body strength exercise. Ideal for developing the chest, shoulders, and triceps. It helps build upper body pushing power and strength, improving functional strength for everyday tasks. So just sort of keep that in mind. One thing I do want to mention is that a lot of these exercises, what they have in common and why they're very beneficial when it comes to strength training is that they are primarily compound based. Now, basically what compound and isolation is, and I'm going to go over this shortly because I've discussed this a little bit before in the past, but compound exercise is basically exercises that are using multiple muscles, even though they're primarily targeting one specific area of the body. Like when we're talking about squats, squats are going to target the lower body. They're primarily going to target mainly the quads, but it's also going to engage both the hamstrings and the glutes at the same time. Now, deadlifts, on the other hand, are more targeting the hamstrings, but they do use other muscles. And that's why I sort of kind of go back and forth between deadlifts being a compound or isolation because they are primarily focusing on those hamstrings muscles, but they're still using other muscles to basically engage, through that workout. Bench press is a compound workout. So you're going to be primarily, of course, targeting the chest, but you're also engaging the shoulders and the triceps at the same time. So one of the benefits that come with cardio exercise, excuse me, compound based exercise is that you're using multiple muscles at once. You're getting a very efficient workout by just doing one particular workout, like squats for lower body. You're getting a well rounded lower body workout just in that single exercise. So that's why a lot of these compound based movements are very beneficial in strength training routines. And even, for me, I do a lot of compound exercises, but I also do isolation at the same time because if my focus is to improve in a certain muscle area, I'm going to be focusing more on isolating that area if I'm weaker in a specific muscle. There's a lot of strategies to keep in mind when it comes to that, but again, we're talking about the aspects of, weight loss, fat loss, and how it relates to strength training. So again, you're gaining more muscle here with a lot of these exercises, and that's the main focus. So squats, of course, there's an example of a squat here. A squat can be done in various different ways. Of course, it can be done with a barbell, a dumbbell. You can do body weight squats when you're getting started. There's a ton of different variations of squats, but it is pretty self-explanatory how you do this. It's just bending down as if you're going to sit in a chair. You're bending at your knees. You're making sure your body is properly aligned. And that's basically what a squat is. All of you have likely seen a squat, but again, there's multiple variations when it comes to this exercise. Another example would be deadlifts, and deadlifts are a little bit different. And with deadlifts, what I would say is that this is an exercise that you really need to start light with. Now, basically, what a deadlift is, of course, you're targeting your hamstrings, which of course is the back of your leg. Basically, the back of your thigh is where your hamstrings are located. So, what you want to focus on when you're doing this particular workout, and I'll play it once again so you guys get an idea. When you're doing a deadlift, you want to make sure that you are focusing on your hamstrings and not so much your lower back because your hamstrings and lower back are really close together in this exercise, but you want to make sure that you're really engaging your hamstrings, which again is the under portion of the thigh. And you're going to notice if you're targeting your hamstrings because you're going to feel a tightness under your legs. And that's what you want to feel when you're doing a deadlift. And again, proper alignment is important with deadlifts. If you do have any questions about these exercises, what you should pay attention to, feel free to let me know. But Deadlifts are just all about, it is really, really crucial that you focus on form with these because you can get hurt if you are not doing these exercises properly. With deadlifts, I would in particular focus on lighter weight, really getting adjusted to the movement, getting adjusted to, really engaging those hamstrings because this workout, you can get injured with your lower back. It's very easy to get injured if you're not really paying attention to what you're doing. So just keep it in mind when it comes to this workout. Bench press, of course, is self-explanatory. There's various variations when it comes to a bench press. You've got barbell bench press, which is here. You've got a dumbbell bench press, different types of variations. You would also do an easy bar, which is a smaller barbell. So there's just different variations that you could add when it comes to bench press. There's also incline, decline, things of that nature. So just keep that in mind that no matter what you're focusing on, again, there's multiple variations if you want to start small, with using a lighter weight, using dumbbells. If you want to, focus on lifting a little bit heavier, maybe you want to move to a barbell. There's many options when it comes to it. But again, all you're doing is you're having the weight over your head and you're basically pushing the weight to your chest as close as you can to your chest and then pushing that weight back up. And what you want to focus on in this workout is focusing on really pushing with the chest. You want to make sure that you're pushing with the chest when you're doing this workout. That's the main focus, is that you're engaging that chest muscle. And you're going to know if you're engaging a muscle because you're going to feel a tension in it. So just keep that in mind when you're doing a workout. If you're unsure if you're targeting it, you're going to know if you're unsure and you want to know if you're targeting that, just sort of notice that tension that you have in that particular muscle. Like, for example, when I do tricep workouts, and I know we're not talking about these particular workouts, but I always feel tension in my tricep when I'm doing, say, a tricep extension or a push down. I'm always feeling some kind of tension, and that's how I know, okay, I'm targeting that muscle. So just be aware of that. And again, all of those workouts we mentioned are primary compound based. So they're going to engage multiple muscles. So you're not necessarily just targeting the chest, of course, with the bench press. You are also engaging those shoulders as well as the triceps at the same time. So long term maintenance. Your workout routine should be something you can stick to long term. This means finding a balance between challenging yourself and preventing burnout or injury. Over time, your body adapts to workouts. To keep progressing, slowly increase weights, reps, or intensity of your exercises to ensure you maintain and even build muscle, which supports fat loss. So that muscle gain is still going to be there. Even though we're gaining more muscle, we are still going to be burning more fat at the same time. So you want to focus on a balanced diet, which is rich in whole foods, lean proteins, healthy fats, complex carbs, and plenty of vegetables. Avoid any extreme restrictions that are unsustainable. There is a really good stream that I did last week that talks a little bit about, I believe it was last week, where I talked about fad diets and sort of sustainable eating. I feel like that's another beneficial one that could really basically be a complementary video to this one or live stream to this one. So definitely check that out. But this stuff is pretty much self-explanatory. You do need to have a long-term routine. You do need to make sure that you're having the proper balance in your routine, that you're challenging yourself enough, but also trying to prevent that burnout and not, getting into any injuries. And then again, progressive overload, gradually increasing the weight, reps, or intensity. Keep in mind, progressive overload is not just about weights. You can do this with intensity. You can do this by increasing reps. You just need to do a gradual intensity increase. That's basically what progressive overload is. And again, the balanced diet, like I talked about in the last stream where I talked about, more sustainable eating, balanced diet is the key really to your success. And especially when you're talking about fat loss, it's just the lean proteins, healthy fats, complex carbs. For example, with proteins, you want anything lean proteins, anything that's like salmon. Tuna is a great option. as well as chicken, grilled chicken, of course, preferably. Healthy fats, you've got avocados. You could use olive oil. Olive oil is a really good healthy fat. Complex carbs, when we talk about complex carbs, it's mainly whole grain based foods. You've got like brown rice, you've got, whole grain bread. Anything of that sort is going to be a good option. And of course, vegetables and fruits are all great options as well. So the last point I want to mention here is strength training for all fitness levels. So this is just giving you a general idea on what you should focus on depending on your fitness level and how you should start with your strength training. For somebody who's a beginner and, somebody who's just basically starting out is very much new to having a workout routine. Of course, you want to start with lighter weights, focus on body weight based exercises, and perform at least 12 to 15 reps per set to focus on mastering technique. So that's what you need to focus on when you're starting out. It's just the basics. Usually with my clients, I always start with a lot of basic body weight based workouts to get started in order to sort of master movement. And that's what you need to focus on first when you're getting started. So the frequency is aimed for 2 to 3 days a week. This is good to help sort of build that routine, sort of build a really functional routine. And you want to work on all major muscles with a full body workout. So when you're doing less workouts throughout the week, you do need to really engage multiple muscles. So if you're working out for an extended period, like if you're working out 5 days a week, then you have plenty of time to target each muscle. But if you're having a small routine, you do need to make sure that you're still getting a well-rounded routine while focusing on various portions of the body. So, for example, what I would say is if you're doing like 2 to 3 workouts a day, you could easily do an upper body based workout. If you're doing 3 workouts, let's say you do upper body, midsection, and then lower body. Or if you're just doing 2 days, you could focus primarily on upper body and lower body. So there's many ways that you can structure that however you want. But just keep in mind that those 2 to 3 days are going to be great starting point to really start to build up momentum and a routine. Intermediate. So if you have had a routine before, maybe, or you kind of fell off the wagon, but you have had a structured routine before, this is kind of where you want to be. So you want to use moderate to heavy weights with 8 to 12 reps per set to build both strength and muscle. So split routines are going to be the great option, which would be, of course, similar to what I just mentioned, upper and lower body splits. However, with this workout routine, you're going to be doing a little bit more days. I would say at least 4 to 5 days a week for an intermediate level sort of individual. You would do maybe a push-pull legs routine. Again, you're going to be having more workout splits if you're somebody who's more experienced, and that's what you need to focus on. So working each muscle group more intensely on specific days. So that's what the primary focus is for somebody who is intermediate. Alrighty, so that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Again, my website is here, what I mentioned at the beginning. It is here. It is bponlinefitness.com. Check that out. And again, what I do want to mention is that I am a certified personal trainer and I'm a virtual coaching specialist. So that's what NASM VCS means. So that is my title as a certified personal trainer and a virtual coaching specialist. So I am certified through NASM. So that's something that I do want to share as well. So if you see those titles, just sort of know that that's what that means. I know I have it on multiple platforms, but that's what that means. So I am certified, of course. So if you do have any questions about my credentials, you can feel free to reach out and I'll give you the information on where you can actually view my credentials. But just wanted to share that with you so you know what that means. But thank you guys again for watching. I really appreciate your time, and I really, of course, enjoy doing these videos, especially this topic, because I feel like it's not talked about as much when we're talking about, just the aspect that strength training has on your routine outside of just focusing on muscle gain in particular. So that's what I wanted to focus on. I will have another live stream next week where I'll be talking about another workout topic. And I'm going to be posting that pretty soon to where you can RSVP to that event. But just be aware, guys, every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, I do these live streams. If you are interested in learning more about anything I have to offer as it relates to online coaching, feel free to let me know. Visit my website as well. I do have information detailing a little bit about the structure of online coaching and how that works. But thank you guys for taking the time to watch this. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time in the next live stream. So thank you guys.